it's a big thing in every State of the Union that you bring a guest. Who do you bring? Something generally to reward a person who's done really good work, or it's symbolic of some issue that you want to focus on. Because George Santos is still technically a congressman, he gets to invite someone, and he has decided to invite a 9/11 Ground Zero rescue worker. Now, obviously, I think objectively, this is a person who deserves more recognition. It is George Santos that's doing it though, so let's dive into that. The individual is Michael Weinstock, a Democrat, by the way, who once ran for the House seat that Santos holds. Weinstock told the New York Times that he was invited by Santos 2 weeks ago and accepted the invitation because he has a neurological condition connected to his service as an emergency worker, and he wants to raise awareness for those in similar situations. He says, "I'm cautiously optimistic that I'll be able to stay focused enough on the issue of 9/11 responders receiving the health care that they need without being sullied by George Santos." So he does not appear to be a big fan of the congressman. And I can think of a few reasons why that might be. First and foremost, that George Santos has told a series of lies about basically stealing valor for his mom dying in the towers on 9/11, which didn't actually happen. So is this, Ida, him trying to make amends to some extent? Like, he'd lied about what happened on 9/11, so now he helps to raise the profile of someone who actually suffered as a result of that? Or is it just a bad look considering it reminds everyone of the terrible series of lies that he told? What do you think?
I think it's gonna do both, depending on who you're talking to and who's listening. I think that, listen, this is a guy who lies. I don't know if it's pathological, consummate, or what's the other one? I have an ex-boyfriend that was out of control, so I had to figure out what.
Oh no.
Of liar. There is the pathological, the consummate, and there's one more, compulsive. So I don't know what it is, but it's probably rooted in some level of mental illness. But I just think that, sure, shine the light on the worker that is probably suffering as a result of all the work that he did during 9/11 and then was mistreated by this country and forgotten and ignored. I have a friend who actually writes about this. I just think, we are a clown fest, John. Like, it's just when we think about these people that are in Congress and the things that come out of their mouths now, the lack of dignity and respect for the people is just crazy. And I think that George Santos is somewhere struggling with some level of mental illness where he cannot tell the truth. And I'm just confused about what is happening. If I was 12, I would be very, very confused about what's gonna happen in the future. I'd be like,
yeah, me too.
These are the people we're supposed to be, because you tell kids, hey, don't lie, treat people with respect. And then they turn on the television and they're watching the leaders of the country behave in such a way.
Yep.
The impact that he's had on the queer community for being, so just disrespectful and all of his lies and just trivializing something that people die for and get mistreated for. It's just unbelievable.
100%. Yeah, no, I don't know how you explain almost anything that happens day to day to a young person. Thankfully, the kids aren't forced to learn about any of this because basically everything has been stripped out of schools in the last couple of years. So they'll be blissfully ignorant. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to George Santos, here's what I would like. I would like him to go away and have me never have to see him again. I understand I'm not gonna get that. So more realistic, invite the rescue worker. That's good. And by the way, we should have Michael Weinstock on the show as well. I would love to help raise the profile of what he's trying to do as a person who never lied about my mom dying in the Twin Towers. So maybe that would even be more helpful. But at the same time, I want him to give a speech where he just lays out, here's all the lies that I told about 9/11. I did it. I'm not gonna weasel out of it. It was unacceptable. There is no excuse for any of it. And since I'm not gonna step down, the very least I can do is that I am going to devote every moment of my career to trying to make amends to all of the people who did lose people in that tragedy. And no weaseling out. I'm not trying to excuse my behavior. This is just the first of many things I'm gonna do to try to make good on that. I anticipate that is not what George Santos is gonna do. I think he's gonna invite this guy, and that's gonna be it. And he's gonna hope that is going to get us to be okay with those lies. Well, that might be good for some people when it comes to this particular lie, George Santos, but who are you inviting to get rid of the lies about the Holocaust? And about the dog cancer, and about the Baruch volleyball? Like, how many invites to major events do you think you have to barter?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.